Hello and welcome to the Philippines. I recently took a ferry trip from Dumaguete over to Siquior Island, not so far away, and I showed up without reservations. I didn't have many plans except I knew I wanted to rent a motorbike and spend a day going around the island and exploring. I ended up meeting a tricycle driver on the port who ended up taking the position of my travel agent. He charged me, I think, 250 pesos, $5 US, to take me down to San Juan area. This is Siquior town here, and take me take me to many different resorts. I think the first 4 or 5 were already fully booked, and finally we found the 5th one that had one room available. And I'm going to show you that room here shortly. It actually usually rents long term, but she rented it to me for a day, and I could have had it for several days. This is a map of Siquior Island. The town of Siquior is in the upper left area there, and if you take the road to the left and go around, you come to San Juan, about I think 10-12 kilometers away, I believe. And that's where he suggested I get the rental from. This cab is 12,000 second hand, and the motorbike is 30,000. Okay.
You want to make a brand new? This one is 25.
25,000 for the cab. All right. My driver had asked me what kind of place and what kind of budget I was on, and after discussing that, he took me to about 5 places, and I ended up getting a place at Palm Village. They've got a couple buildings, not very large. They rent most of them out on a monthly basis. I paid $1,500 for one night, and or about $30 US, and I asked before I left. They said the monthly rate was $3,500. Plus electric and water, and so that seems like a really good deal. And there's lots of places for rent long term, I believe, just going around the island. The room and was very comfortable, clean. Had utensils, had plates and cups and that type of thing.
Okay,
if you wanted to cook, stay longer term, you could cook. And so I was happy with the room. It was reasonably priced, I thought, and especially just walking in off the street. They did not take credit cards, so I had to pay cash. That is one thing that as you get on the smaller islands, you have to be aware of, that some places don't want credit cards, aren't set up to deal with them. Was relatively quiet. I could hear the neighbors' television. They had some radio going for a while, and I wasn't going to turn my television on, but I turned it on just to try to block out the noise. It wasn't bad noise, just was irritating noise from the people next door. The port area was great. This is not a swimming or snorkeling area. The tide goes out, and a lot of people are out there looking for dinner or other things to sell at the market, I presume. But the tide was going out here, and a number of people. I went out there and saw a little octopus, I believe is what it was, and several other creatures in the water, in the sands. Stray dogs started barking. It's too early in the morning, and they like to play out there in front too. That island over there, Negros, that's where Dumaguete is, just across, not so far over there. And there's a famous diving island called Apo Island, south, if you go south out of Dumaguete, and down past Darwin, and I believe that is Apo Island, the famous marine sanctuary, perhaps out there, I think, and a famous place to dive. And I've heard that's supposed to be really good snorkeling and diving there as well. But it was cloudy here much of the time I was here. Partly cloudy the following day, and I got a couple sprinkles only for a short period of time. Bohol is, the island of Bohol and Panglao Island is quite close also on the other side of the island. And I had a friend that just by chance went over there at the same time. And he said he had lots of rain over there. And I've heard from other people over there that they seem to get more rain. Although when I came here in August of 2015, the Philippines was in the midst of even though it was the rainy season, we were in the midst of a drought. And Bohol hadn't seen rain in a very, very long time. Anyway, it was an interesting stay. I'm going to show you one other interesting thing, a note I found on the wall. But one thing about living this far from a actual town and on a small island is you don't have shopping centers in the respect that many of us think about it. You might have in fact, they have markets, wet markets, where you can go and buy your fresh meats and vegetables, that type of thing. But relatively small island. I'm not sure where the electricity comes from. A diesel generator would mean that the electric rates are probably higher than many places in the Philippines. Similar to Camotes Islands, also has a diesel generator at this time. And fishermen out there doing their thing. But getting the food that you want. Some of the people I know that live on small islands take a trip into Cebu City or other places once or twice a month to get the goods that they need. Now, is that a baby octopus? One of you experts on marine life will be able to tell me that as I waited out, that was there. And this notice will get the attention of a few of you. In San Juan, it is wearing bikinis, two-piece, and underwear in public areas is strictly prohibited in the municipality of San Juan, which is the city that I stayed in. Now, if I read that correctly, the females will have to decide which piece of the two-piece bikini they're going to wear. Anyway. And this is what the sea looks like as the tide goes out. You can walk out there a long ways, and I did, and took a lot of video and pictures out there. Amazing creatures that you can see out there. Lots of people out there harvesting the marine life, different types of things to eat and or take to market, sell to the neighbors. Anyway, thank you for coming along. Please like, please share the video. Please subscribe. Safe travels to you all, and we'll see you next time.